Folks, welcome back for another episode of, well, it's going to be tentatively called Schwartz Follies, but really it's Friends, but not Friends Follies, because my friends don't make follies. That's all on me. This is Fun with Friends. Fun with Friends. Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. We'll call this Fun with Friends. It's going to look, the thumbnail is going to look like Schwartz Follies, but we're going to call it Fun with Friends, or maybe Friends Journey. I don't know. We'll see what we do. I don't want to change up the thumbnails again, because I want to kind of make the distinction between the different eras. Because I know IO brought up, it's like, hey, we probably want to get to 100 with, because we almost got to 100 with razzle-ma-dazzle-ma-dazzle, buffed razzle-ma-dazzle-ma-dazzle. So we're watching J-Dub 1771, who I believe this is our first time viewing, at least as a friend. We might have... I'm trying to remember if we met J-Dub during a competition or a match or something, and then later became friends. But I think this is my first time, because it took me a second. I was like, wait, how do I do that? So it's JB Dub, I believe. So could be JBW, Dub being short for W. Oh, and we've got Kitty on Kitty violence. Oh, it's a Razm on Razm violence. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, but Tiny Razm can't fight Big Razm. Oh, actually, it's going to take both Anasi and Little Razm to take on Big Razm Dazzle. That cat fight was sad to watch. But luckily, JB Dub has his own Anasi that he'll be able to employ if he so desires. He does not desire. He desires instead 2 conscription, and what a magnificent conscription. Perfect, exactly what he needed to rob the Venom Tongue of her sting. No Archer's Gambit. Squish wouldn't work either. Yeah, so probably she will remain impotent for the foreseeable future. That is one heck of an arrow storm. Wow. Wow, very fortunate for Dark Elf Guest. I'm familiar with Dark Elf Guest. I've seen his work. Looks a lot like Orc Elf Guest or Orc Guest. Anyway, just so you know, the reason I'm choosing to do the... Oh, and congratulations, JB Dub. I'm always focused on my friend's health total, so I never noticed that they're actually like pushing lethal, because when we joined in, he was actually on the wrong end of the confrontation, and then he turned it around very artfully. Well done, JB Dub. All right, and we've got Io. Dano. Let us check out Dano. I have not seen Dano in a long time. Dano's been through a lot since I've met him. Some really tough stuff, and right now he's being hopefully not intentionally roped. You don't want to believe that a top 10 player, which is, you know, evidenced by that card back. You don't want to believe that a top 10 player would rope on purpose. So hopefully Snake 122333 is simply having a bad connection at the moment. And nope. Well, it could be. Still could be a bad connection. Let's see what yes, sir. But only voted for me because I've done it all before. I just know what to do and how to get everyone in line. Okay, well, okay, so being very modest. Vincenzo being modest about his being elected to the leadership of the class that he's in. So congratulations there. All right, so Dano is going to get the win here. It is not going to be the most spectacular win, but a win is a win is a win. Again, I don't think you get to top 10 by roping, so I would just assume, and it's not, I mean, you can have turd muffins at all skill levels. You have turd muffins who suck and turd muffins who are awesome. Turd muffinry is not limited to skills, but top 10 requires such an economy of being able to play and then play at a high level and maintain that for an entire month, that I don't think that's his MO, is to rope. I probably just had a bad connection. which sucks. And, you know, as other people have pointed out, so I was waiting for Dano to jump in. We'll see about that, but Body Bag is also fantastic. But yeah, I'm doing this because when I do live at 5, you know, the pretense, not the pretense, but the pretext, the assumption was that I was going to be streaming the game live and doing what I'm doing now, but in a live format. But what it typically becomes is just a huge, like, it's a big chat. Like, it really is just this great interactive chat, get into some crazy discussions and arguments, friendly arguments, but, you know, just arguments, the fun kind of arguments, the ones where it's like you get to exercise your brain a little, but it's really nobody wins, nobody loses. Well, I always win. Don't tell certain pineapple-loving folks that, but winning is kind of my thing. And I am at an advantage. It's much easier and faster to talk than it is to try to type out something. And is Body Bag going to be able to pull this one off? I think no? No, he's not. Wait, couldn't he have Dune smuggled and gotten a little bit more? No, I guess not. And Body Bag goes on. But Body Bag, look at that, top 100 coming into the final few days of the month. So Body Bag in good position. There we go. All right, Dana, we'll check him out now. But yeah, so honestly, we end up talking very little about TESL during Live at 5, which is fine. I have no qualms that as long as people are enjoying themselves, it don't matter to me. If people will be like, hey, we take a little less chat interaction if you could just like talk about the game. But honestly, my commentary is not dynamite either. So it's not like people are missing out on some golden nuggets of wisdom that I'm imparting. That said, all of that said, I figure I didn't have a deck that I necessarily wanted to play right now. And I thought, you know, I'm not right now commentating on the TESL games is not really happening. Because the only time I'm doing it ostensibly is on Friday, but it's almost never happening. So I figured this is enough of a variance where we can make it happen. I think in one of the other videos I do ask the question. I'll ask it again here just for posterity. If you all have a preference. For those of you who watch on the regular, even if this is your first time, welcome. And you can say, hey, but would you rather, does it make a difference if I'm playing or not? Or is it more about seeing TESL? Because if I don't play, you are getting the benefit of a much higher level of play on average than you would get if you watched me. You're not going to see the saltiness necessarily, which is a draw for many. Look at that. Wow. It's so great to see. What is she again? The Prospector? Yeah. Ratway Prospector got buff in one turn. So well done, Dano. That is not an easy feat to accomplish.
All power flows from the gods. I summon you in the light of
now, here's the question. Is he going to be able to keep her alive? Well, all he has to do is attack, and she goes invisible, so he doesn't have to. And alter. This is... Dano, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my entire life. We are seeing a deck that is able to convert Ratway Prospector within 6 turns. That also runs Alter. What am I beholding with mine eyes? Mine eyes have seen the gory of this constructed archer deck. It's confusing the living heck out of me.
You won't spoil my plan.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
But I give it much respect. Unfortunately, it looks like Rail MC, almost in the top 100 legendary ranks, is going to prevail against Dano as it stands now. Clockwork Dragon could save him. Unfortunately, oof. Yeah, there's really not a great play here, but we're going to see Dano milk it for what it's worth. All right, gets Aldora into the fray. Will we see the rapid shot? We will. And that's going to deploy Skywag and draw a card. So, oh, no. Okay, it does not draw it. Oh, no, it does. Okay, yes. I was going to say if it doesn't draw a lethal or a drain. But as you can see, he does have lethal and drain creatures. And okay. You know, I'm seeing a lot of Aros, which is great because, you know, I know Dano and Aros. I'm not sure where, you know, sometimes friends fall away, you know, maybe not as as friendly as they are. I'm not 100% sure, but we're at least seeing, I'm going to assume they're still friends, still good buddies, and we're seeing similarities in playstyle in that both of them can be facing a very ugly board, and with a very modest layout of cards are able to kind of strike back. Now Rail MC is continuing to pour on the heat and does have a significant advantage. Is going to be able to play another card, which looks like Eldora is being targeted. No, maybe the 3/3, and of course you would do that because that could possibly get drained next turn. Would it have gotten drained next turn? We shall see. No, because drain only comes if the next card is a drain. But he did have the search, so if it pulls up a drain now, it does not. Ah, but he could use. No, he can't. I doesn't have enough magicka for the Clockwork and Archer's Gambit, unfortunately. That would have been a dynamite swing. He is going to use the fork.
Get them, Skywag.
Eldora is going to get a little bigger, right? Does she get bigger? Yep, yep. Both her and Skywag. Oh, oh, oh! Oh my gosh! 9 with a snake tooth. What a top deck by Dano! Oh my gosh! That's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's great. That is great. That is exactly what Dano needed. I don't know that it's going to be enough. I don't know. Oh, that is so beautiful, and he's going to keep her alive. Now, granted, she won't have Drain next turn, but she's still a big body. And at this point, he's going to be looking to... Oh, nice. Dano, this is the thing of beauty. Like I said, with both him and Aros, they're both building decks that don't... I mean, look, he's got Spooter Lair for crying out loud. I haven't seen that since... What's his name? Oh, and Eldora goes down. Oh yeah, Dano. Okay, maybe not exhibiting the apex of humility there, but he's not wrong. He is not wrong, and we're gonna be able to rapid shot to draw. And look at this Spooter Lair. This is gonna be and this is where I'm like, this has got to be better than watching me play. Yes, you're getting the everyman experience, you know, the non-charmed existence when I play it. But here you're actually getting to see really good, interesting, fresh stuff.
If it wasn't valuable,
and I think that means a lot more. You're seeing Spider Lair applied in a great way. You're seeing a premium sweet roll, for crying out loud. You're seeing an Altar of Despair in a deck that isn't just play with myself. You know, it's fabulous. And I think that's actually some folks, the name of their decks, if you actually see their deck list, it's like Play With Myself 1, Play With Myself 2, Play With Myself Controlled. Anyway, I don't want to harp on about that. It is what it is. Oh, please weaponize the sweet roll, Dano. Please weaponize the sweet roll. Give it the Quicksilver crossbow. I know it's kind of a waste. Okay, well that's a better... Oh! Alright, so this deck may not be optimized for Altar like a control deck would be. He seems to be drawing, but I'm guessing he's got a top end. He's probably going to be drawing a Tazcat or something, possibly. But Rail MC is continuing to draw, continuing to stay in this game until he is out of cards. Dano's not really out of options, but I mean he's going to have Clockwork and Quicksilver Crossbow next turn. Oof, but that is a hard counter to that. But he does have Archer's Gambit. And that is exactly what you want. That the Spooter Lair spitting out Spooter Guards. But yeah, I would think you'd want to see Clockwork. Oh no, never mind. And now Crossbow. Yeah. So he's getting it done. He's getting it done. And I mean, it works out better that way because again, less likely of a chance that he's going to get a removal. And there you go. There, now he's drawn. Now his Altar's doing what Altar is supposed to do, which is bring actual value onto the board and not just a sweet roll. So we may see Rail MC concede after this. I don't know. It depends. I mean, he may have... I mean, Guildstorm doesn't really have a unique ender. You know, it's not like he can throw down a Dagoth or something. But Dano is out of pings at the moment. So the board state is what the board state is. He doesn't have to worry about a stone throw to kill his Scorpion. I was going to say Scorpion a different way. I was going to pronounce it differently, but I can't think of another way to do it. I'll leave that up to my friends in the UK. How would you say Scorpion, or how do you say Scorpion? Because I'm sure it can't be Scorpion, because I think there's enough uniquely positioned consonants and vowels that you could pronounce it a completely different way. Ooh, and the crossbow is another fabulous pickup. Spooter's getting it done. Getting it done with the guards and now some shackling. Yeah, I think there's just too much value going on for Dano, really. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but... or, you know, come across too haughty, but I think... Interesting he's not putting that on the drain. I'll have to ask him about that. Like, if it's got lethal, why, and you're sitting at 11... Okay, doesn't matter. Rail MC sees the writing on the wall, and Dano with a... I'm going to give him a GG, an amazing, and what did I just watch? GG. Amazing deck. Yes, the play was fabulous. But what the heck did I just watch? Because it was beautiful, but I'm like, what is that deck? What is that? Okay, let's see Brother Ridge. All right, let's see how well Brother Ridge does when he's not facing against me. Well, put it this way. I want to see Brother Ridge playing in a way that it doesn't actually sting me at the same time. Like, I was happy he won. Treasure Hunt, Lethal Pings. Come on, man. If you can't sum it up in one card, you can't call it, you can't name the deck. Okay, there you go. To be exact. All right, so we're hoping to see Brother Ridge also come away with a W on this one.
Will make them pay.
Looking a little dicey, but he's still in the mix. He's got 10 damage plus Cliff Racer, and so he'll survive next turn. So he could just go face with everything, go face with Cliff Racer. Okay, he's playing it safe. He's playing it safe. He's gonna play some defense, but I mean, you got 8, 10. You would have had 14, and then you know you've got Tazcad next turn. But he is instead going for. But again, that's the thing. Even Gobos, they need to be played well and with restraint or pizzazz, and Brother Ridge is showing the right way to do it, focusing more on defense because of things like that. Like if he had done what I thought and just go face with everything, now he'd be hurting because his opponent would be getting him down, you know, to 6, 7 maybe. I only said he was okay because Bruce Dream Whisperer, as playing Empire, does not typically have a lot of reach. I mean, it does because it's running green, so he could have Tazcad and he could have whatever else. That Sanctuary, the thing, that's pretty scary. Does he have lethal? He has. Okay, I can't count them yet because he's continuing to remove threats off the board. So with the curse, I mean, again, we're worried about. Tazcad really is, I think, going to be the big one. He will have enough for 2 Cliff Racers if he happens to have those in hand. But no drain right now, and enough removal has been... Ooh, good. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And 2 curses will wipe that pretty much. I mean, Dawnbreaker would still suck. Wait, is he going to be able to remove everything? Oh, was that a misplay? It might have been. Oh, I hope he doesn't have a Dawnbreaker, because if he had used the curse thing on that, then he could have made a clean trade with the 1/1. So if he's got a Dawnbreaker or a Cliff Racer, that would have hurt. But last time I commentated, I also made a mistake, so I might have made a mistake there. Maybe what I thought he could have done, he couldn't have done. By default, I would just assume that our players know better than I do. So if I don't see something, or I do see something that they don't see, unless it's like incredibly obvious, I'm just going to say that I probably did not see what I needed to see. To reiterate, like there was the I think it was during it was during Live at 5. I mistakenly thought one of our friends was either questing or just kind of messing around a little because he was friends with his opponent. When in reality, he knew that what I didn't know, or what I didn't realize, which was that I thought he was just trying to keep his Bone Colossus alive for the sake of keeping Bone Colossus alive. But in fact, he was trying to keep it alive because if Bone Colossus ate it in the trade, his 4 points of damage in skeletons would have gone down to 2, and that's not what he needed to finish the game off. So Bruce Dawn, Dream Whisperer, really making this a close game. I mean, Brother Ridge is going to be able to clean up the board, but again, I'm just hoping we don't see a freaking Cliff Racer finish again. I've grown weary of those. Ooh, testing fate there. That's always a little dangerous. I mean, granted, his opponent has been able to keep whittling him down, and so it's very hard to... Just don't break that other rune, man. Just fill the board, get your nimble ally down there, and yeah, don't give him another card. Don't give him enough chances to draw a charge. That's the only thing that's going to wipe you out right now, because you got Tazcat and Cliff Racer waiting in the wings. If you knew eras, Cliff Racer and then Tazcat, I think, would be the way to go. Okay, that's bad, but not the end of the world. Okay, he's got his sights set on Gobbo. The mask Gobbo. I say so because his face looks like Jim Carrey's face when he's wearing the mask. The scary version. Or maybe it's the villain. When the villain wears the mask, maybe? That's what it looks like? I don't remember. He's just kind of like, alrighty then, or whatever. I don't know what the mask says. I only saw the movie once. You can tell when it came out, though, because he was wearing a zoot suit. And those were all the rage in the... Was it late 90s? Maybe into the early 2000s? Was the kind of the ska, big band, throwback era. Where spats and suspenders were worn by all. Can he finish it off this turn? He's got 5. Yeah, he can finish off this turn, no problem. Nicely done, Brother Ridge. Way to finish it off. That was a great game. Well done. We didn't stand a chance, folks. My little pilfer kitties had no chance against the mighty Gobbos. It was so refreshing. Can't believe you got Prospector buffed so early. And alter in a well, we'll just call it control deck. What? And we want to give Brother Ridge his kudos. That was a nail biter. But never doubted ya. Did I actually vocalize any doubt? I don't think I did. I think I kept that under wraps. All right, Io. Let us check out Io. Okay, let us not check out Io. Io is not playing Ugnip. Yes, all right. So another reason for me doing this was, one, like I said, I didn't really have... Oh, Alter wasn't included. Okay, well now that makes me a little sad, Dano. That revelation makes me a little sad, because it actually worked out really well for you, I have to say. That was produced by another card. Okay, you might considering running one copy of it. Yeah, exactly. Let me finish my thought before I forget. So part of it was I didn't have a deck that I necessarily wanted to play at the moment, and there were like 12 different... There's 12 different high-level players all playing right now. So I was like, you know what, let me take advantage of this, because there's sometimes where I get on and nobody's playing. So I was like, let me go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity to showcase some people playing and actually focus on the gameplay a little bit. That said, I'm afraid what was looking like a very even matchup for a moment there has swung drastically in Ugnip's opponent's favor. Insassin? I don't know. He's a forgotten hero, and that is why, because nobody can know how to pronounce his name. It's easier to forget somebody when you can't pronounce their name. Who could forget Schward? It's Schward with a triple A. Triple A for quality. I couldn't say it with a straight face. Oh, speaking of face, Ugnip is going to take a good bit of damage to his... Oh, and more gates. I mean, Insassin couldn't have asked for a better draw with this particular deck. He's got moon gates aplenty. He's got all the good stuffs to make a wide, robust board. I mean, yeah, the 1/9s aren't ideal,
A few drinks, a few
but this is a nightmare. Like I would expect this to be a Joe creation, a Sea City Toker
Size
creation.
alone belies this one.
And in fact, it probably isn't. Oh no, Joe, your build I believe is mage, right? Or is it assassin? I know it's a dual color. I think it might be assassin. Your elsewhere monster deck is an assassin. The one that you got, like, I think you went undefeated or something during the elsewhere tournament, or was it the elsewhere tournament or Gauntlet? Gauntlet? I'm making up words now.
Feel the power of the moons.
I'm sorry, Ugnip. Although, I mean, oh man. Well, no. I was going to say Cradle Crush isn't all that far away from being... I don't suppose you run Red Year? My opponents always do. As soon as I feel like I got a nice cushy board going, they're like, oh, how about a Red Year for you? Oh, you don't have any wards? All your creatures have like 7 power or less? Oh, well. Eat this Red Year. And like it. So Marak is going to yoink. And that may prolong, may keep him going. I mean, because the Lion Kitty is shackled down. So Assassin has currently 5 damage coming from the Shadow. And... yeah, nothing. Well, 1 coming from Field. But I don't think Ensign is going to want to pilfer. I'm guessing in all those cards he's got a Piercing Javelin, though, or Cast into Time. Either one would be very disappointing for our friend. Oh, is it going to be the Queen's Kitty with the weird hat? It is! Man, look, is this not the weirdest looking hat? What is that? Or is that his hair? Look, it's like a little... it looks like one of the little scrunchy, like one of those... you know, you have like the collapsible cups or something. It's like a collapsible hat. Like, look at my little collapsible hat. Khajiit likes his collapsible hat. Oh, but wait, he didn't use that to kill off the guard. What did he use that for? Card draw? Oh yeah. Wait, no, was it? Which one was it on? Oh no, he nuked the Storm Atronach. Okay, that makes sense.
There will be sweetmeats for
I thought he was going to nuke it so he could get some more damage going in from the field lane, but he chose not to. I mean, he really doesn't need to. I mean, he is... Ugnip needs like a Dawn's Wrath or something at this point in order to turn this thing around. Turn this thing around. I mean, Aren could... if she... what has he got in the graveyard? We'll see. Does she get mass removal? No. Very much the opposite of mass removal. So Marak can trade into Lion-O. Lightning Bolt can eat Weird Hat Kitty. Okay, looking for more answers, perhaps. Ooh, Mighty Conjuring would have been nice if he had one more Magicka. So yeah, I think we're going to see Big Kitty Lightning Bolt. There we go. And Ugnip continuing to hold the line. It is running a little low. I mean, I was going to say all he needs is another card that can use those gates, and he's just probably going to be facing too big of... oh my gosh. Ugly Hat Kitty comes down and does double whammy, removing Aren. Oh no, removes the guard. Okay. This time. Withdrawing 2 cards. Does burn a card, but has so many to play with. That said, does not have... oh, and that'll do it. All right, and y'all can chime in. I think I've asked this before. I asked it a long time ago. Defensive Bruma. Are we still okay saying that that's a fairly statted card for what it does? Like, if it just gave the entire board +1/+1, like a temporary Divine Fervor or a 1-turn Divine Fervor that's permanent, but I think that would be enough for what the card costs. The fact that it gives you guard as well, I think that's naughty. I think that is... it needs to cost more for that. Personally, I think that. So you all can let me know what you think. When I first saw it, I was like... because it was one of those cards that was introduced to the game when I was away. Or either that or I just didn't notice it at the time. But I sure as heck noticed it when I came back. I was like, what the heck is this? That shouldn't be able to do what it did. Now, especially if you can get it for 0 cost, for goodness sakes. But even if it's, what does it cost, 3 or 4? You get a wide enough board, that's death to an aggro, aggro race. Yeah. After I saw the sweet rolls, though, I was like, not optimized for it, but it did come in handy. I was going to say clutch, but I think that word gets overused. It wasn't actually a clutch time, but it did actually help out a good bit. I really wasn't ready to handle. Oh, dang it. Well, he saw the me too. I said me too. Yay. All right, so Dano's playing again. Let's... Oh, nope, just kidding. Dano's not playing again. Let us take a look at our pad, I think. Well, Io. Let's see Io. Okay, Io is not playing again. Kratos is not playing at the moment. Mr. Punk 90. Ratapia. Have not seen Ratapia in a long time. And we got Ugnip. You know what? Oh, Inu. All right, let's take a look at what Inu's doing here. Good to see Inu on the ladder. We'll see if he's running. Okay, he's not running. Well, he's up against our friend Rail MC. Rail MC circulating very well amongst our friends. And you would think, looking at this, that this is Doomcrag Warrior. But knowing Inu, this is Doomcrag Warrior if Unite the Houses doesn't work out. I guarantee this is a Unite the House deck. No doubt in my mind. And no rational person would disagree with me. Stone Throw. Seen a lot more Stone Throws these days. Stone Throw is like Disassemble. Those are 2 cards that were openly scorned and mocked when they came out. And they have since become relative staples, at least 1 copy of each being run. Alright, Inu in a tough spot. Let's see if he can... Well, his Tiny Dargan is a dream come true in that Shadow Lane. And just enough magic to play it, so he is going to survive another turn. I mean, there's a part of me that does go out when I see like somebody like Rail MC. We know Rail MC has already lost to one of our other friends before. It feels bad to see somebody lose more than once, especially if they're not like BMing or anything. I mean, of course, I'm still rooting for our boy Inu. And Doomcrag and Tiny D are going to get it done, or Doomcrag and Nord. So, Inu and I have this understanding where I'm going to suggest a play, and he's going to think of a better one and do that instead. But I put mine forward to make his idea look better. Because you may be looking at it going, I'm not sure what he's going to do here. And I'll be like, oh, here's the play. And you're like, hey, that's not the worst idea. And then Inu plays his version, and then you're like, oh, what you said was so dumb. Look at what Inu did. That's how you do it right. So that's kind of what I'm up against here. Unfortunately, his Wild Incarnate is not going to get Jack Diddley Squat. You know, I don't know why I haven't added him to my logo on my channel. Since I am Incarnate, well, it's Incarnate or Incarnate. It works both ways. And that's not just a pronunciation. One of them is, I am Brilliance Incarnate. It means I am the manifestation of brilliance, or... To incarnate would be the verb version, which would be to bring something into being. And Rail MC is going to get draw a card off of that. Kind of similar to the last game. We're seeing him with a lot of options. He's got... Oh, does he have another ping for her? He does. 2 douches. No! Oh, Inu, I am sorry, my friend. I am so sorry. We need a Doomcrag. We do not get a Doomcrag. But the Moose, even though it will not be good for card draw, does actually serve a Poipus. You need beefing up his Shadow Lane. It will eat 6 damage as it stands now, barring a... Also notice Rail MC does have the Centurion tagline title, which means he has won those 100 games with a neutral deck. Not something to be taken lightly. Combine that with the fact that he's a 132 legendary right now, and he's probably a very high-level player. Might even be top 10. I don't know that I would ever not play. Oh, is he going to do the douche again? Or is he going to do the moose? He's doing the douche again. Alright, and I feel a little less sympathetic for Rail MC. Not by virtue of anything he's doing wrong. Just, I mean, again, I'm always chapped when my opponent just seems to continuously have... They have late game cards when they need late game cards. They have the answers when they need the answers. Oh, but Doomcrag comes up stellar. Clutch, one might say. Wow. Alright, so... oh, no.
A little distraction.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's it. That's game. Oh, that hurts. Alright, well, unfortunately, Inu does defeat, and Rail MC not... Well, I mean, that wasn't so much roping or BMing there. Alright, so he gets his win. He had what he needed. And Inu did say when we had the conversation about people playing out their hand, he said, you know, he said, if I ever do play out my cards, it's to show my opponent that it wasn't like they weren't getting lucky off a prophecy. And that's kind of what Rail MC did. Said, hey, even if I hadn't got that prophecy, Cloud Rest, I had a lightning bolt to finish it off. So I think that was more of a courtesy, or could be seen much easier as a courtesy, because it does feel bad to lose a game off of prophecy. Even if you yourself got one, if it wasn't the game winner prophecy, it can still feel bad. So it can be helpful to be like, I had it without that. Oh, and Dano now up against the ugly face of Workshop. Some of the ugliest cards in this game are supports, and Workshop is no exception. Dano playing something a little different. We're not seeing the archer from last game. We are now seeing, obviously, as you can tell with your two eyes, an assassin, and it's not a burn assassin. So it's a assassin with some... Oh boy. That was a heck of a rage from Tuborg 22. Oh boy. If it wasn't for that Workshop, I would have had a lot more appreciation for it. And that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to hobble along like I do... Oh, wow. Jizargo and Reflective Automaton. I think Dan is going to have to go with Jizargo. Yeah. Let us see what shenanigans Jizargo is able to concoct. It's a good counter to the garbage that is Workshop. Alright. So we are definitely in the thick of things in this game. No real... Okay. Surprised not at all by that. And I guess I would explain why we saw an Odaving earlier on. Yeah. Okay, gotta admit, Dano, gotta admit, when I'm seeing cards like Lockpick and Manic Grummite and everything, I don't know that you were taking this terribly serious. Okay, we're not gonna know what this does. We'll have to just see.
Looks like it is time for the muscle.
Oops. Get the cursor off of there. Alright, now he's holding onto that scroll, perhaps. Well, and that's the problem. You never know. What are your options again? They're varied. Oh, there he is. Codwell. Dano has a very nice Codwell quasi-prophecy archer, I think. Or is it Battle Mage? Maybe both. And is that going to be it? What is he going to draw? A Charger? He could draw a Swift Ring Dragon and end it. Well, no, he wouldn't end it here, but... Shop Abuser. Yeah, man. Yeah, it does not feel great. So, yeah, it doesn't... The effects are varied. That's the thing. You can't really plan for what your experimental scroll is going to do, because it can do like one of 3 different things. And yeah, kind of soured the game. Kudos for the Grummite love, though. Okay, so we can see Dano going at it again. We can revisit JB Dub. Bodybag Beezy, we did see... What happened with Bodybag? I think he ended up against Invade. Was that the thing that happened? You have been kicked from Spectate. Well... Alright, I'm thinking that might have been by accident. But in case it wasn't, I don't want to impress my will upon him there. So we'll check out K Fluffy. I've never been brutally rejected like that before. That stings me a bit. But you know, some people, like I said, I know you never want to assume, and we do have chat. I could ask, and in fact, I will. I'm going to demonstrate what communication does, and not what you should live your life this way and not via the way of the sitcom. I will say, I would just ask Bodybag. Hail, friend. I got booted from spectating. Was that on purpose? If so, that's fine. I just don't want to try spectating again if you'd like your privacy. And I'll give it the smiley face to say there's no hard feelings. Like, I really don't want him to, I mean, again, I thank you all for allowing me to watch your gameplay, and I don't take it for granted or take it as a given that you necessarily want to be spectated. But it's always important for that communication. And Bodybag could say, you said something I don't like, or you're a turd muffin, or I want my private, any number of things as to why he would not want me spectating. Or he could have been like, no, I hit the button by accident, or what have you, or we may not get an answer at all. If we don't get an answer at all, then I do default to say, I would rather default and just respect what looks like his decision, which is to not, which again, doesn't make, it's not about being a good person, bad person. Like, I'm not, there's no shaming going on there. Tis what it is, as the kids say. That said, it is always helpful, as a PSA, it's always helpful if there is a grievance. And I'm not saying there is, I don't know that there is, I wouldn't expect that there is one. If it is ever a grievance, well, I shouldn't say ever, because admittedly, while I have some really great relationships with a lot of folks on here, even that I would say friendships, there is kind of a little bit of a layer of separation where it's like, it's not where, you know, if I have a birthday party, I'd be sending, I mean, that would be actually kind of cool to just have like a big party, using a birthday as an excuse and just having a bunch of TESL people show up. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't, whereas it, like there's a certain level to a friendship where you kind of, I don't want to say expect, but I'm going to say expect, where you do expect an explanation. If you have a good friend, like if my friend Eric of almost 30 years stopped responding to my texts, I would kind of expect, because we have that long-standing friendship and because we have had good examples of communication in the past, I would expect or want or think it would be appropriate, perhaps required, to let me know, hey, did I do something screwy? What's going on? And it could just be as simple as, hey, I just don't have time for you in my life anymore. And it is what it is. I'm not going to argue with him or anything. But there's a certain level of friendship where you do, like I said, kind of expect or want an explanation if the communication is going to die. But I don't, I'm trying to think. I think that, I mean, there's definitely a few of you. A few of you, and I'm not trying to make it up about that. I'm working out of my head. There's a few where I'd be a little perplexed if our communication just got shut down with no explanation whatsoever. Or I should put it this way: I might be perplexed with a number of people, but I would not necessarily expect it like an explanation. I would just be like, okay, you know, we just go back to being folks who, you know, who kind of know each other. But, like I said, this is all hypothetical. It's not based on there. I'm just using it as a moment to talk about that kind of thing. Because, I mean, that's where the music community, all the rumors and stuff that you see get started, a lot of it is just a lack of just extending that one bit of communication. Say, hey, what's going on here? Or, hey, when you made that comment to so-and-so, were you referring to me? Or, you know, or what? And sometimes getting that understanding is going to confirm And then you have to decide, okay, well, how am I going to proceed? Am I going to get all, you know, my panties in a bunch because I don't like what he said? Or am I just going to say, okay, well, that's your call and move on? So yeah. But I would assume if it was a desire to no longer... Oh wait, because we are watching them. That we would just be off the friend list. I think that's the most efficient way. It would be the way that makes most sense. If you don't want somebody spectating your game in perpetuity, you just say we're not friends anymore. So that... Ooh, that is a nice rage. Unfortunately... Didn't get the rune break. Oh, but that's, yeah, crosses through. Nicely done, K Fluffy. Not at all surprised. And if you hadn't noticed, K Fluffy is, or if you didn't know, K Fluffy is the only person, or at least one of the people that I know, who has a great to see you out and about. Crushing with a fantastic all premium rage. There we go. So I do apologize, Body Bag. Certainly not meaning to call you out in front of folks, and I'm not. I'm not, like, it's just using it as a moment to ponder the general, you know, a broader. All right, let's. Inu, we came in at the last minute and we saw him. I do like Doomcrag. Warrior, so hopefully we're gonna get to see some warrioring going on. He looks to be in a much better position than he was when we joined him last time. But there's Jetoro, who is also running a pill for Kitty. Let's see if he has better fortune with his than ours. I mean, ours. I think that's what I said. I was expecting, or would not have been surprised to go 0-3. And then we won 2, and I was like, I'd like to double that. And I think we went to 3. I fell asleep during your last stream. And see, now that, folks, is an example of someone insulting you to your face for no good reason. I have not said one word to Inu. And he can't be hearing me because this isn't a live stream. So perhaps because I did not say the most flattering thing about his Doomcrag deck, or I made the joke about his Unite propensity for running Unite in pretty much every deck, that he decided he was just going to brief me on the fact that Rim and Siege Weapon, that I forgot, that's half the reason why you run it Halalu instead of just Monk. Rim and Siege Weapon. I can't believe I forgot to add that. It is totally missing. I don't even have a copy of it in the Monk deck that I ran on Wednesday. I feel like a schmuck. Okay, anyway. But Inu went out of his way to say, I fell asleep during your stream. And you may say, no, Schwart, all he's saying is that he was very tired and he was kind of apologizing for falling asleep during the stream. But I know, in fact, what he was saying is your stream was so boring that I could not possibly keep my eyes open. Thank you so much for curing my insomnia, Schwart. You're a gentleman among scholars. That's what Inu was saying. I know that's exactly what he's saying. Will I be back on more? Yes, sir, I will. That's the plan. Have 2 moves in the next 4 months. But I should be settling down enough to get back into things. Trying 2 vids a week and the stream on Friday. Which right now is probably about the right balance that I need to have. You know, before I was doing it like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Thank you, K Fluffy. I hope it does as well. Like I said, haven't seen the numbers come back from what it was before my roll to 1 escapades. Certainly not faulting it for that. The great thing about Legends is it will be here when real life frees up. Yeah, Legends isn't going. Legends is the most. Legends, indeed. Legends is the most tenacious game ever.
We must protect ourselves.
And it really is. It's like even when it's discontinued. or when it's no longer in service, it still continues to have a small but mighty fan base. I really am curious what the numbers are at this point. I feel like we're under 5,000. Worldwide, I think we're under 5,000 people. But I don't know. I don't know what the actual... I thought she got drained. Oh, there it is. Okay, it was just taking a second. I was like, wow, that's weird. I really wish they changed her name, though. It just sounds weird anytime you talk about this card. Oh, they did change it. Wait. Oh, well, okay. When she transforms, it's fine. Ageless Vampire, that's a fine name. It's just a weird thing when you've got little girl. It's like, oh, well, I'm not even going to say this stuff because if I don't have to, I'm not going to include her in a sentence that is just going to sound awkward. Ageless Vampire is fine. We can say Ageless Vampire all day. But the 0-2 little girl that she hits the board as is just kind of a weird one to say. Oh, and K Fluffy, we're going to... I mean, right now things are pretty tight with Inu trying to close this out. So we're going to check out what K Fluffy has to say as soon as this game finishes up. But yeah, like I said, as a reminder, if you're watching, whether you are a long-time watcher or just... Okay, and Inu does finish it up there. And I guess that, yeah, his opponent just saw that he wasn't going to be able to overcome the board that Inu assembled. We'll give Inu... And I won't take that personally. Okay. I will, but I'll forgive you. Alright, and see what K Fluffy was saying. Well... Okay, so we've got Rump and Rufus. Dana's playing a Rump and Rufus inspired. So we'll check in with K Fluffy's chat as we watch. It's looking pretty rough for Dano at the moment. But his opponent only has one card and he knows what it is. Unfortunately, he's a priest of the 8. Actually, the good news is there is only one. There is no Wait, so this Demented Grummite deck is of Rump and Rufus's crafting, eh? Or inspired by. He did say inspired by, not directly related to. Chargers in strength could be a problem. Oh no! So the second time we see a Khajiit is done for, or our opponent concedes a little bit early. So hey, GG. Apparently, his opponent knew that that's also a Rump and Rufus deck, and we saw the result of that. So, inspiration strikes back. Good old Rump and Rufus with the nifty deck construction. So, okay, I finished up the premium collection a couple months back, so mostly just played events and finishing daily quests these days, but hopefully can catch you on more. Awesome. I was hoping you were doing okay. Hadn't seen you on since I stumbled back in. Figured once you had the sparkly deck, the will to play had diminished. I know it would for me. I like the times where I'm not playing, if it's on here, and I do kind of want to take another gander at K Fluffy, because we really don't get to see much of K. Oh, okay, never mind. And that's why we don't get to see much from K Fluffy. Dano, wham, indeed. All right, Io. Can we get Io? We cannot get Io. All right, Ugnip. Just kidding. All right, well. Okay, we are approaching the hour mark, so it's not the end of the world if... Okay, we bookended with JB Dub. We started with JB Dub 117.71, and we can finish it off as he goes against Dante's 844. And this is not Arena. I guess this is casual. Or no, Gauntlet, I guess. This would be Gauntlet. And we are seeing another altar, but this is in decidedly Control Empire. So no question about its utility there. That is one of the few premiums I don't have yet, or alt art that I don't have yet. I do not have the alternate art
Let's go, then.
Fighters Guild
My
recruit.
time is precious.
Honestly, kind of like the original better. It's really, sometimes it can be hard to really be objective in your mind because one is a lot more common. You see it a lot more. It's easily available, readily available. So it's harder to favor that one over something that's a little more prestigious, a little more rare, a little more hard to come by. But there's just some artwork that I just think they got it right on the original, and didn't the alternative isn't that much of an improvement, or isn't an improvement at all. Say Baroness, Eclipse Baroness. I think the lighting effects they have on her. Well, of course you're good. Dante's 844. How dare you, sir? You nuked a card as soon. Oh no, you didn't. She's still here. I thought you got rid of her. Like, look, the lighting effects on that are good. The light coming down, the rays coming down, and then her little scepter thing, and her pose, everything about that card just matches the voice lines and everything. The other Eclipse Baroness, the alternate art, it's kind of really hard to see. It's like it's very dark without a lot of contrast, and she doesn't have like a regal bearing. I can't even really make out what she looks like very much, but she's premium, and it's not even all that pretty. So I would say that's another one. Eclipse Baroness is better in her premium original. The problem is you have to craft a premium epic, which is like 1,600 soul gems. So that's why I had the premium version, because I wanted sparkly, but I didn't want to have to pay a sparkly price. I wanted premium without paying a premium. You see what I did there? And not exactly lethal. I don't know why I said it that way. Goodbye Amulet. That's a great pickup from there. I guess he doesn't have a giant Sneck or a Viper or a... He does. He had a Viper. He could have finished it that turn, it looks like. Could he have? Yeah, because he could have Necromancered over here. It would have put the Viper here, and he could have finished it off with one. I mean, he could finish off this play, provided Dante's can't drain somehow. There is that Scimitar thing where it, like, drains based on how many cards were killed.
It has been an engaging hunt.
And Dante's just gives a concede. So, a nice way to finish off another win from JB Dub. 1771. And if he did not respond to our first one, I probably won't ping him again just because... Okay, so we'll just leave that alone. Like I said, I never want to harass anybody. Okay, Fluffy, I love Legends, so I'm sure I'll play until the stream, if the streamers are shut down, servers are shut down. I'm mini break right now, if you would call it that. We all need breaks from time to time, even the best of us. But good to know you'll be synonymous with the game as long as it hobbles, limps, canters along. So cool. So yeah, so just know, folks, like, and that's not sour grapes or bitterness or anything. Like I said, I never want to impose on people. So I'm thrilled to have the ability to, or the opportunity to watch your games. If you boot me, I don't take it personally. If I can't confirm why you booted me, I'm just going to assume that it was because you didn't want me to see that game, and I'll go back in if you invite me, or if you say, oh hey, you know, check out one of my games. Otherwise, I'll kind of leave you alone. And same thing there. There's been a couple people that I have on my friends list that we've said hello to, and we don't get a response from. And folks, I know if I'm playing, well, you've seen me many times when I'm doing a video, I don't respond until a certain time. But I know, especially if you're playing like a phone or something, it can be really hard to try to juggle the gameplay and the messaging and everything. So I 100% get it. And even if, you know, I just assume if we're still friends that, you know, you're okay with me spectating, but you just aren't necessarily looking to mix it up or have a conversation, and that's fine. If you're just looking, hey, I'd like to see my games, you know, on a YouTube video, there you go. You got it. But no bitterness there. Inu, we will have words later on about your insults to my magnificent streaming, and Body Bag, if I do happen to see it in the stream, we'll hash out our differences such that they may be, again, it could all just be misunderstanding or what have you, but it's always good if you care about the friendship, care about the relationship such that it is, you always want to extend that little bit of effort just to keep it intact as much as possible, but knowing things happen in life and people move on, people shift, people have differing courses of action and stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling nonsensically now. We watched our last game quite a bit of time ago. Got to see some K Fluffy. Well, good to see you back, sir. And JB Dub, For the first time, Dano, good to see you back as well, playing Altar in a deck you wouldn't normally see it in, playing it with some effects. So hopefully some of you great deck builders out there can look at that and go, hey, maybe I should put Altar in a non-control deck. Or maybe most of you are going, what the heck was that? Anywho, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, keep playing.